when I could take a break from this world. Running on a hamster wheel, but searching for something I can't feel. I just wanna be a lost girl and fly. Take a breath, feel my wings spread, levitate above the ground and make eye contact with clouds. Now I'm rising, I'm soaring above it all. I just wanna be free, finally, I wanna be free.
Hello, Ambition Babes. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Dion, also known as the Face of Ambition, across all social media platforms as well as wherever you stream your podcasts. I help women who are 40 years and older who are ready to reinvent themselves, who are sick and tired of doing the same old thing the same old way and expecting different results. But do not worry, sis, if the algorithm gods have decided to show you this channel and you are not over the age of 40, consider me your rich auntie who wants to put you on so that you don't have to make the same mistakes that I have. Because listen, sis, sometimes the most powerful thing that you can do is not to push harder. It's to pause, reflect, and reset. Because this time around, you've got more wisdom. You know the things that you've done wrong. You've accepted your failures with grace, and you're ready to refocus with different intentionality, motivation, and focus. That is why today I'm talking all about starting over. It's time for us to restart our 90-day goals. And today I'm going to show you how I go through the process of restarting my 90-day goals and how you can do the absolute same thing without shame or waiting for Monday. But before we get started, I need to ask you a quick question. Do you remember being sat down when you were about a preteen and someone giving you the talk about starting your period? It was such a strange and uncomfortable conversation, but it helped you to be prepared for what was coming up next. But no one is pulling us aside to talk about when your period starts slowing down or completely stops. There is no birds and the bees chat about the exit strategy. That is why I am so glad that I found Mira. I'm in my mid-40s, and like a lot of women, I just started feeling off. Mood swings, night sweats, unpredictable cycles, and the brain fog were way too many symptoms for something bigger not to be going on. Girl, I was so tired of guessing and Googling. I needed real answers. Mira tracks 4 key hormones: estrogen, progesterone, LH, and FSH, using fluorescent lab-grown technology, which is the same kind that they use in clinics. It gives you real numbers in real time from the comfort of your home. No vague lines, no broad ranges, no maybe or perhaps you're ovulating. Just real, clear, accurate data. Honestly, my Mira app, Tabitha Brown, and this really good Oprah series that I happen to see are my new aunties who have been holding my hands through this new perimenopausal journey. The Mira app does so much more than just tracking your hormones. There are so many blog articles and testimonials that help you to be able to fully understand exactly what's going on with your body. Whether you're trying to conceive or entering perimenopause like me, Mira gives you the clarity to understand exactly what's going on with your hormones so that you can make empowered decisions as opposed to feeling like you're lost in the dark. If you've been wondering what's going on with your cycle, your symptoms, and your fertility, Mira is definitely the answer for you. Click the link in my description and take control of your hormonal health today. Thank you, Mira, for being the sponsor of this episode and an amazing supporter of our community. Okay, sis, so let's jump right into this. Why I am starting over. I set up my last 90-day goals the exact way that you're supposed to set them up. I use the SMART goal methodology. I did my weekly, monthly, and quarterly check-ins, and yet there are still some goals that I fell short on. And unfortunately, the goals that I did not reach last quarter were completely out of my control. Before I started creating YouTube content, I had a podcast called The Failure Report, and I enjoyed interviewing entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs who had failed in business. And one of the things that I learned after years of curating that podcast is that failures happen for us, but not to us. You see, we always think that failures happen because somebody's against us. We must have upset the universe or God is punishing us because we didn't do something we were supposed to. What if the last time you failed was actually a setup for your good? When I reflect over my last 90-day journey, there are some things that did not go the way that I had planned. And just a few days after our 12-week journey has concluded, I'm starting to see how it was a setup for me entering the best 12 weeks of this year. As some of you may know, we're not going to be able to produce the physical copies of our Ambition Planner this year. And maybe I shouldn't say this year, perhaps it's just for a little while longer. But with the increase in tariffs and the instability in our market, it's just a financial risk that we're just not in a position to take. But my last 90-day goals were to be able to produce our new planner, to create our launch sequence, to work on all of our marketing collateral, to use ambassadors and influencers to be able to promote our products, and I had even attached a financial strategy to my goals. But 0% of that goal is going to actually be accomplished until further notice. I've actually had to completely pivot, but I'm so excited to announce that we're coming out with a digital version of the Ambition Planner. Yes, we currently offer a digital version of the Ambition Planner, but this new planner, honey, is about to be ultra luxe. I am so excited about all of the new products that we're going to be releasing this year. But looking back at what I thought I was going to be creating the last 90 days, absolutely none of that is going to happen, and I'm going to have to start over. Although it can be considered as a failure, it's a failure for my good. Every single time you create a goal, it should be created with flexibility. Life is not linear. It is full of turns, obstacles, setbacks, and setups that you didn't see coming. The most important part is that we anticipate life to be lifing while we're creating our goals. I talk a lot about the goal of losing weight. And as somebody that has lost almost 50 pounds most recently, I understand how difficult it is to stay consistent to your weight loss goals. But when we're creating our goals, we try to create them as realistic as possible. So if my goal is that I want to lose 15 pounds over the next 3 months, that's 5 pounds every single month, which is 1 point something pounds every week. But if I'm starting to look at my 3-month calendar and I see that it's my birthday, my son's birthday, I'm going on a trip to the Bahamas with my girlfriends. The week after I get back from that vacation, it's my husband's birthday, and we're planning a tour in Napa full of wine and cheese. Perhaps this is not the quarter for you to decide that you want to lose 1 point X pounds every single week. It seems like you're setting yourself up for disaster. That is why it is so important and empowering to create your goals in a 90-day format. Because we can see that far in advance and know exactly what type of goals we should be creating and how realistic it is for us to be able to achieve them. Every single time I'm ready to start my new 90-day journey, I love to look back on what I've learned. This journey is not about just continuing to go forward and trudge forward and never stop. The most amazing nuggets of wisdom are found on this journey when you stop and reflect on how far you've come and exactly where you want to go. And one of the major lessons that I have learned every single time I complete a 90-day journey is that discipline supersedes motivation. You know who's never going to be motivated to get up at 5 a.m. and go to the gym? Who's never going to be motivated to eat a salad as opposed to French fries? Guess who's never going to be motivated to drink 120 ounces of water before noon? But I have found the discipline that it takes in order to do those things every single day. Your small daily promises that you make to yourself are so much more important than the hype. You're not going to be motivated to do it. It more than likely is not going to be the highlight of your day. But you got goals, sis. You have things that you want to accomplish. You have a fire in your belly that is keeping you up at night, that is propelling you forward. And it's going to take you being disciplined in order to reach any goal that you have set for yourself. Discipline means that you're going to set the alarm, and no matter what, you're going to put your feet on the ground and put them inside of some tennis shoes and drive yourself to the gym. Discipline is going to mean that you're setting the alarm because you have got to drink those 120 ounces of water before that alarm goes off at 12 o'clock noon. Discipline means that you're going to show up and be accountable to that business goal that you have set for yourself. You're going to move that money from your checking account to your savings account every single week because you have financial goals that are not going to meet themselves. You're not going to be motivated, but you have got to find the discipline. The second thing that I have learned is that grace is a part of growth. I'm one that believes that grace needs to be earned. There are some situations where you deserve to have grace. There are situations out of your control. You have tried your very best and you're not able to achieve that goal for whatever reason. You've shown up. You've made mistakes, but you've not let it hold you back. And yet you continue to fall short. In those situations, you deserve grace. But when you decide to go to sleep tonight and you do not set your alarm, but you think you're going to magically wake up and go to the gym first thing in the morning, perhaps you don't deserve grace. You can't hate yourself into consistency. You have got to offer yourself grace in order to be consistent to whatever goal you set for yourself. But be very careful as to how often you hand out grace. Is you giving yourself grace every single day holding you back, keeping you stagnant, creating excuses that are standing in your way to you reaching your goals? Only you know the times that you've offered yourself grace when you didn't deserve it. And every single one of us is guilty of doing so. But grace is a part of growth. Know when you deserve it and give it to yourself freely. The last key lesson that I have learned on every single 90-day journey is that systems save energy. I dare you to try to remember absolutely everything that you need to accomplish in order to create your business plan without writing it down. It's like going to the grocery store without a list, honey. You're going to go in there and buy some things, but you're not going to come out with anything you need. You have got to create a system. Systems are set in place in order to create structure. Most of us thrive in structured situations. When we know exactly what is expected of us, when we're supposed to turn it in, where to go to find all of the directions that you need, we feel supported. We know exactly what we're supposed to do and we know how to show up. We also know if we've actually been able to complete whatever that task is to the very best of our ability. But without a system, you have no idea if you've reached the goal. You have no idea when you're starting, when you're going to complete it, nor the action items that it's going to take to get there. Systems can be hard to set up, but they are absolutely imperative to your success. So as you're starting over, I want you to consider 1 to 4 goals that you want to be able to accomplish over the next 90 days. I definitely believe that the optimal number is 3, but if you're overly ambitious and you want to add an extra goal in there, sis, be very mindful of what that goal is and ensure that it's realistic. But if you're like some of us, perhaps you need to just set 1 goal that you're going to work on every single day over the next 90 days. Perhaps it's taking control of your finances, your weight, your spiritual journey. You know exactly what it is that you want to be able to achieve, and I want you to use the SMART goal methodology to get extremely specific about your goal. Now, I want to remind you that it is not a goal if it does not have a deadline. A goal without a deadline is just a dream. So while you are in the process of just dreaming about what you want to achieve, make sure that you are specific. You can measure that goal. It's obtainable, realistic, and then by adding the stamp of timeliness to it, you have now taken it from a dream to a goal. Even though making sure that your goal is timely is the one thing that qualifies it as a goal, the most important step in the SMART goal methodology to me is the attainable section. Even though whomever created the SMART goal methodology calls it attainable, I like to call it actionable. What are the actions that you're going to take every single day or week in order to realize this goal? If you skip this section, but you've gotten super specific and you've added measurables and a timeline to it, I feel as if you're missing the biggest and most important component. Because in order to save $100,000, you need to identify exactly how much you need to save every single week. In order to start the new business or nonprofit, you know exactly whenever you want to reach this goal, but what actions are you going to have to take every single day in order to make that dream a reality? Inside of your goals and gratitude journal, there is an actionable section attached to each one of your goals. This gives you the opportunity to brainstorm exactly what you need to do every single week in order to meet that deadline. This section is so important because no matter how specific you got on exactly what you want to achieve, breaking that goal down into action items helps to bring that goal to life, and it should get you excited about getting started. My 3 goals for this next quarter are pretty simple. My first goal is that I really want to work on my health and fitness. You see how the goal of working on your health and fitness is a great goal, but it's not specific? This is why you have got to use the SMART goal methodology. When you say health and fitness, what does that mean? You're trying to lose weight, trying to build muscle, trying to eat more protein. What are you going to do every single day and week to ensure that you meet this goal? Well, one of the things that I know I have got to focus on is moving my body more. Yes, it's a major flex to have lost weight, but just like you lost it, you can find it again, which means I am going to have to move my body consistently. My second goal is building my business. As an entrepreneur who has built and exited a startup and has developed various products and services, building a sustainable business is something that I absolutely enjoy doing and is something that continuously challenges me. This quarter, I am extremely focused on my YouTube content, influencer content on Instagram and TikTok, continuing to build Clickish, our accountability community, and increasing the products that we develop and sell. There are a lot of different facets to goal number 2, which means I'm going to have to identify the system that is going to support me in order to reach this goal. And my third goal is personal development. One of the things that I want to encourage you to do is always focus on one personal goal. We get so caught up in our financial goals, in our spiritual goals, in our relationship goals, but sis, I promise you, you'll never reach any of those goals if you don't take care of yourself. My personal development goals this quarter are going to challenge me to meet with my career coach weekly, journal more, creating the routine of reading more, and ensuring that I'm staying locked in spiritually. My personal development goals also include me improving my French. As someone who has a full degree in French, I can barely order a glass of red wine without fumbling through a few words. I know that I can do better, and this quarter I'm challenging myself to brush up on my French. Sis, you do not have to wait until Monday to start. One of the things that life has taught me is that tomorrow is not promised. And even though we all know that somehow we still feel like tomorrow, the next day, or maybe even next month is a better time to start. But what I can promise you is that today is the very best day for you to put yourself first, for you to become the priority, for you to ensure that your cup is completely full so that you are only giving others your excess. Starting over is hard, but it is completely worth it. Okay, you're ready to get started on your next 90-day journey. But there are just a few takeaways that I want you to have to ensure that you are as successful as possible during these next 12 weeks. The very first thing is that I want you to do a quick reflection. What went well? What went wrong? What didn't work? What don't you ever want to do again? And what is it that you want to implement into this next 90 days? Taking time and reflecting on the past is an amazing way to set yourself up for success in the future. I know that it may seem tempting, but do not set 12 goals. Pick 1 to 3, no more than 4 goals that you want to be able to accomplish over the next 12 weeks. Even though I'm sure you have an amazing memory, use a planner or journal to track your progress. If you don't want to reach your goals this quarter, don't write them down. But if you are serious about reaching your goals, then honor that goal by writing it in a sacred space, like your goals and gratitude journal, so that you can come back and reference that goal every single week and ensure that you're on track. Set your timer every single Sunday to do a weekly check-in. I like to do my weekly check-in around 6 o'clock on Sunday evening because it helps me to identify the things that I did well, move action items over from one week to the next that I didn't get to, and I can start updating my to-do list and monotasking my week with the items that I know that I have to achieve. If you're one that suffers from the Sunday blues or the Sunday saddies, this small hack helps you to feel more in control of your day and the rest of your week. Before you know it, you'll start looking forward to Mondays as opposed to dreading them. And lastly, after you've written out all of the goals that you want to accomplish, you've used the SMART goal methodology, you've written out your action items, I want you to say your goals aloud. Get your goals and gratitude journal or whatever journal that you picked up from TJ Maxx months ago that you've never used. Take it into the bathroom or before a mirror. I want you to declare and decree the things that you said you want to accomplish out loud. When we keep things inside of our bodies, sometimes we feel like we can be lying to ourselves. Like it's a secret. Like it's just something that is buried inside of us that no one else knows about except for you and the things that you've written on a piece of paper. But the moment that you look yourself in the eye and say that you are going to be successful, that you are going to lose the weight, you're going to start the business, you're going to write the book, you're going to develop the product, you're going to do the thing that God has told you that you need to accomplish, something clicks. You feel absolutely committed to doing what you said you were going to do. Oh sis, if you've never tried this before, it is so empowering. I cannot wait to know what your next 90-day goals are. Please make sure that you write me in the comment section and let me know the 3 no more than 4 goals that you want to accomplish over the next 90 days. I read every single one of the comments and I cannot wait to support you on your journey. Starting over can feel scary, but I hope that the tips and suggestions that I've offered you today help you to feel more supported. Sis, I love you and I pray that you are well and that you're doing something every single day to reach your most ambitious goals.